Hello, this is a video explaining the All Together Now fund and application process. My name's Jules and I work for Bristol Beacon's community team, and Bristol Beacon are delivering the All Together Now project on behalf of the West of England Impact Alliance. You can see the Impact Alliance's link in the bio below, and Bristol Beacon are the delivery partner on All Together Now. So All Together Now is a multi-year project. It's currently funded until July 2028, and the fund of All Together Now is about working with artists, grassroots groups and organisations. The whole mission of the Impact Alliance is to address loneliness, and All Together Now seeks to do this through creativity. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining a bit about the who, the what, the where of the fund, the creative categories and some of your ideas that you might be thinking about, the application process, what application support is there, and how to contact us. So everything I'm explaining can be found in the guidance and on the Impact Alliance website, and all the links for this are below this video. So who can apply? Well, people can apply as an individual, as a collective of people, whether that's artists or different people, or as an organisation or a grassroots group. You don't need to be a constituted group to apply, and we do want people to have some experience in delivering creative activity or very strong potential. People that apply should be based in the West of England and have very strong links to the area, and be open to learning and collaborating with other people. This is a really collaborative partnership project we want to create. So we encourage people to collaborate, be able to reflect on what they've done, maybe adapt to any feedback that might be given, and generally share their learning. So what we're funding is creative activity. So this could be anything from music, storytelling, dance, drama, floristry. It could be a podcast project, it could be a photography project, but it has to have a creative element. What we're not funding is therapy or clinical services or health and fitness projects. Food projects and nature projects could apply, but again, they need to have a creative element. So where's this happening? Well, the Impact Alliance have identified 6 pilot communities that might be at higher risk of experiencing loneliness. For this first round of the All Together Now fund, we're focusing on 3 of the 6 pilot communities. These are Stockwood in Bristol, Mendip Villages in North Somerset, and Global Majority Older People across the West of England. So you're probably watching this video because you've got an idea that you want to submit to the All Together Now fund. So I wanted to tell you what kind of ideas we're looking for. We're looking for ideas that build connection and ultimately help address loneliness. So we would like ideas to be shaped by the community, ideas that encourage belonging, ideas that maybe build on something that already exists. We want to also make sure that you're thinking about what might happen when the funding ends. So if you've got a new idea, that's great. We'd love to hear it. But if you also have something existing that's already happening and you want to enhance it or find a way for it to more greatly address loneliness, we'd love to hear that too. We are asking for people to have different levels of experience applying for this fund. It's a very open application process, and in the application form you'll see we ask you to identify what level of experience you might have planning and delivering an idea. So please have a look at the guidance to figure out which one you want to tick. We do in general ask for people to be organised in the way that's best works for them, to have a little bit of experience in delivering projects, and to have an idea of the costs associated with projects. We want to work with volunteers and trainees as well in All Together Now. So if you're already working with volunteers, that's great. Those volunteers might be able to be incorporated into your idea. We'd love to hear about how that might work. If you're new to working with volunteers, it would be good for you to think about how volunteers might be involved in your idea, because if appropriate, we might match your idea, if it's successful, with some volunteers. Altogether Now understands loneliness to mean that the relationships we have don't align with the relationships we desire or want. So we've come up with 4 creative categories for the Altogether Now Fund, and this has come from consultation and a bit of research with the 3 communities that these ideas and projects are for. You can check the guidance for more information about loneliness and for some real life examples of ideas that communities from the Mendip Villages, from Stockwood and older people from the Global Majority have given us to that forms part of these creative categories. So I'm now going to go through the 4 creative categories. The first one is places to belong. So this is creative activity in community spaces that strengthens existing relationships and creates or builds new ones. So that could be bringing to life local spaces like a cafe or a park or a faith space or a bus route. It could be low pressure arts activities that create social connection. It could be a one-off project that's like a mural or a bench decorating project that brings a space to life and improves people's relationship to place or space. So that is places to belong. The second category is connecting generations. So this is a creative activity that brings different ages together in a way that's relevant and meaningful to them. We want this category to involve ideas that bring groups together in, like I said, in a meaningful way that hopefully creates a lasting connection and isn't an artificial way of bringing groups together. So this might be, for example, a gig that's relevant to people of all ages, or it might be a shared meal that people of all ages can come together and enjoy. So that's connecting generations. The third category is events, festivals and trips. So this could be shared celebrations that promote togetherness and unity, maybe with projects that build up to them, and also trips, so journeying together to different places, creating new experiences for people. For this category, we want people to also think about transport links and how people might be getting to these events and trips. And hopefully by promoting local transport links, that might also be a bit of a legacy for that project. So that's events, festivals and trips. The fourth category is community-made media. So this is creative ways of promoting things that are already happening in a community. This could be a community newsletter or a zine. And we'd love this, if possible, to be co-created with different people from that community. So it could be a podcast that's co-created for and with young people. So that is community-made media. So what's the application process for the Altogether Now Fund? Well, step 1 is you're in the right place. You're watching this video, so you're already on the journey. The first step is to watch the explainer video, read the information pack, read the guidance on how to answer the questions, and all those links, again, can be found below or they are on the Impact Alliance website. So then you'll start sort of developing your idea. So there's an optional step 2, which is to book some support with your idea. So we've got 2 options for that. You can come to an online webinar, which would be a group call with lots of different people, online with me, and we would go through some of the questions that people have, and hopefully you might get a little bit more clarity about the idea that you're developing. You can also book an optional one-to-one with one of Bristol Beacon's community team. We can then answer any questions you might have. We can't give you any guidance on whether your idea can be more fundable or whether it's likely to get funding, because we need to keep it fair for everybody. But there are two options for application support. Step 3 is write your application. So that's an online form. Again, you can find that below. And that is a bit of basic information about who you are, what you want to do, and we ask you to explain your idea either in written form or by submitting a 2-minute video or film. So that's how to apply for stage 1. and the deadline for this is below. After that, you will be told if you've been successful and moved on to stage 2. In stage 2, we'll be asking for a little bit more detail about your idea, and we will invite you to bring your idea to life. We would strongly suggest you doing this via a film. However, we know this isn't how everybody works, so it's up to you how you want to bring your idea to life. And everybody who's invited to stage 2 will be paid £125 for the time it takes them to prepare stage 2. All the stage 2 applications will then go to a creative council, and there will be a creative council for each community. These will be people that are passionate about creativity, are representative of the community that the ideas serve, and that group of people will have the final say on which things get funded. After we've had our creative council meeting, you will be informed whether you've been successful or not. And all the dates for all the different rounds of the All Together Now Fund are in the information below this video. Hopefully this video has helped explain a few things about the All Together Now Fund, but if you're still unsure about something, do get in contact with us. There's details again below this video, and we're here to answer any questions you might have. There are, though, some frequently asked questions on the Impact Alliance website, which you can look at there. If you have a question that's specifically about volunteering or about the traineeship that we might be launching, you can email atnvolunteer@bristolbeacon.org. If you want to find out more information about loneliness or what the success of a project might look like, or any information about administrative documentation we might need for this application process, like GDPR stuff, public liability insurance, DBS checking, you can find that in the guidance too. So have a look at the links below, check all the dates, and get in touch if there's anything we can help with. We're at alltogethernow@bristolbeacon.org, and good luck.